What is something people describe as healthy, but it's actually unhealthy? Herbalife. Most healthy branded juices, a lot of them contain more sugar than the average soda. Do your research before buying these products, or just invest in a juicer. Detox cleanse regimens. Juice cleanses. No fiber or anything. Just straight up sugar water. Most healthy foods is tagged by the people who buy it, and that's because it sounds like that. Here we had a new law that makes consumables show a tag that says if they have an excess of something. And who would have guessed, the ones called healthy are the ones that have the most tags. The belief that if a product contains no man-made chemicals it must be healthy. Arsenic, cyanide and a multitude of other substances are natural and yet can kill you. Fat-free. This term usually hides the fact that it's fattening. Complaining about every possible thing and calling it venting. Acai. In Brazil people accept that it's a dessert, not a superfood. Edited to add by this I mean acai bowls smoothies with sugary ins, not the berry by itself or in minimally processed forms. I apologize for any confusion. Wine culture for moms. Edit yes, beer culture for dad, too. I'm not picking on women. I'm talking about how we, as a culture, push wine culture versus addressing the root problem of how overwhelmed and alone moms are. Nature in general. There is a huge marketing impact on products you buy. If there is written that it's 100 natural, you are going to prefer it from one that is not. Nature has no notion of healthy or not. Uranium or cyanide are 100 natural, doesn't mean that they are healthy. A lot of people, especially younger, start vaping even thought they never smoke cigarettes because it's comparatively healthy, except that there's plenty of evidence vaping still fucks up your lungs, and even though it's scientifically definitive that it will damage your body, it's just that the long-term effects are still not fully measurable. Also, vaping addiction tends to become way worse than cigarette addiction because it's far easier to intake high doses of nicotine and you're less restricted on where and when you can intake, not to mention being considerably cheaper. Working outside of work hours. The grind. A healthy pregnancy simply means the fetus will gestate to term and likely not suffer any medical issues during gestation. It is not referring to a pregnancy's impact on the body, as that is not healthy at all. The amount of people who genuinely believe that Chick-fil-A is somehow healthier than other fast food restaurants is actually insane. Having perfectly white teeth. It's not a sign of healthy, but scrubbed, chemically treated or outright sanded teeth. I had a salad for lunch. The salad, a large pile of ham, cheese, and ranch dressing over a thin bed of iceberg lettuce. Fruit juice. High in sugar, with none of the fiber from the fruit to prevent blood sugar spikes. Obsessing over your health, only eating healthy foods, not having sodium in your diet, isolating from other to grind and work on yourself, anything that becomes extreme and isolates you from society or impairs your relationships. Energy granola bars, energy sports drinks. Most sweetened yogurts. Nutella is a good one, it's got more sugar than canned frosting, but some see it as healthier because it has hazelnuts in it. Laugh, no. Speaking my truth. It's usually just a flimsy pretext to say what they want without kindness or consideration for others. Most sports drinks like Gatorade. Being overly confident, it's just obnoxious. It's good to be confident but not that. Being a workaholic. Being scalped as a kid. I find it weird when people flex that they got a beating. I grew up in the tail end of that mindset and didn't once have hands laid on me by anyone in my family. I actually pity people who were hit as children. An adult was so angry at a fucking child that their only resort to violence to make you submissive. Running marathons, especially ultramarathons. Running is obviously good for your health overall, but can be unhealthy at extreme distances and cause the body to break down. Going to the chiropractor. Grind hustle culture. Flexing how little time you have to spend with your friends, family, yourself. Turning anything that brings you joy into a business venture. Trying to belittle anyone who isn't grinding as hard as you. Relationships where they argue constantly but only in small. Now that would kill me. Maintaining family or any relationships with people passively trying to undermine your efforts to improve because of how it makes them look. Subway. I hear a lot of people saying that it is healthy fast food, but even if you make an all-veggie sub, their bread still has a ton of sugar in it. Totally anything anyone becomes obsessed with. Exercise. Healthy in normal dose, overdoing it takes a huge toll on your health. Water is also healthy but might kill you if you overdo it. And on the contrary, lots of unhealthy things aren't so dangerous if done in smaller doses. If you're going to avoid chocolate for months because someone told you it's unhealthy, you're setting yourself up on a chocolate binge, etc. Veggie chips. The veggies are potatoes dyed green and orange. Juicing every fucking fruit or vegetable you can. Being always positive. I hate this type of cunts. Low-fat foods. They are loaded with sugar, which makes you fat. Cutting ties with every person who makes an innocent mistake or hurts your feelings. Not everyone who fucks up or unintentionally hurts your feelings is abusive. Recreational drugs. I get it, these things can help injured people cope with life issues. Some drugs are palliative at end of life to reduce pain. PTSD can be helped with some drugs effectively. That's not what I'm talking about. Healthy people pulled into the culture of drug use instead of a culture of experiencing life sober is not healthy. Maybe my response belongs in UN popular opinion instead of here. Hugh Jackman may have looked like an Adonis as Wolverine, but his body was in poor condition. He was getting little sleep, working out so hard he experienced joint pain. He deliberately dehydrated himself for a couple days prior to filming his shirtless scenes and probably near passed out more than once for it. And he obviously used steroids. Even short-term usage affects your liver and other organs. Cereals first thing in the morning. OMG, the glycemic index of Cheerios is ridiculous, let alone ones coated in sugar. It's no wonder the US has a type 2 diabetes problem. Keto. Yes, you may lose weight, but I can't tell you how many times I pull up a patient's labs and can instantly see from their cholesterol they are doing keto. So yeah, you lost 10 pounds, which won't matter much when your heart is suffering. Getting out your aggressions by punching, screaming, or misdirecting psychological frustration into violence. It doesn't get rid of the cause and primes a person to be violent. Act out in order to solve problems. Being yourself even when you are an asshole and your actions adversely affect others. People have stopped being considerate and kind. Staying positive to the point where it becomes toxic. Toxic positivity is real, especially among senior management in public and private sectors. It can completely tank staff morale. Many years ago, margarine high in trans fats was touted as a healthy alternative to butter. Porn. Fat-free foods. A lot of juices that people don't bother to look at the sugar content. Surprised I'm not seeing drinking excessive amounts of water. Hyponatremia is a very dangerous condition that can be brought on by drinking too much water. Drink when you're thirsty, not when your 2-gallon water bottle tells you to. Drinking red wine. I may get hate for this, but keto. Porn addiction. Ask a Redditor and they will say it's healthy, but it is definitely